Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2024 brand new action-adventure film, Deadpool and Wolverine. So this is 2 hours long. Hugh Jackman is back as Logan, Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds is back as Deadpool, Wade Wilson. So what's interesting about this is that a lot of fans have been wanting them to be teamed up for quite some time, and it took a lot of convincing from Ryan to Hugh to get on board. And then, yes, he was on board because what happens in regards to Logan? Logan film came out. X-23 is introduced. The character of Logan dies. His adamantium on his bones starting to poison him, and then a tree eventually goes through his chest and is killed. But what happens after that? So it's a question then of how do you get Wolverine to come back if he's been killed by a tree, technically, and poisoned, to then work with Deadpool? Well, conveniently, because of Loki, season 1 and 2, the TVA, the Time Variance Association, has been a thing, pruning individuals who are on the wrong timeline and causing chaos, etc., sending them to the void. So this then is capable of becoming a multiverse film when you have a different Wolverine from a different timeline compared to a different Deadpool from a different timeline. Can the both work together to save Deadpool's timeline? That's the premise of this film. So if you haven't seen the Loki show, season 1 and 2 of Loki, you don't really know that much about the TVA. You don't know all the scandal and all the things and everything that's gone on, right? But what I appreciate about this film is that it's explained so quickly about what the job of the TVA is, what the void is, the aspect of pruning, being sent away to clear a timeline, stuff like that. It's very quickly explained, so that way, in case you haven't seen the 2 seasons of the show, you're not lost. And my concern with this film, which is a concern I had issued with in regards to the Marvel's movie, was that if you haven't seen the TV shows leading up to that film, is it going to make sense? Because then you have to have a Disney Plus membership in order to watch the shows leading then up to the film. You had to have watched various movies before watching the Marvels. You had to watch WandaVision. You had to watch Miss Marvel, the TV series. You had to have a lot of background information on the characters then presented in the Marvels film. So if you didn't have access to watching those TV series, it wouldn't have made a lot of sense watching the film and the character dynamic, the background, the relationship all those characters have. My concern then moving forward with Star Wars projects, having a film based, continuing the TV series that we've had on Disney Plus. My concern of Marvel projects, other Marvel projects, having films after events of TV series. So I'm glad that my concern is still presented, but they did an appropriate way of explaining this in a way that you don't have to watch the TV series to understand what's going on. What's going on at this Time Variance Association. Totally fine. Yeah, we don't have Miss Minutes in there. Yeah, we don't have Owen Wilson's character. It's fine. It's fine. We have another character pop up from the show, but you don't need to know that they're from the show to know that they're a bigwig at the Time Variance Association. So the way this information was presented to us, I feel it was appropriate. It was appropriately paced. It was appropriately given to us. I loved the then explanation of different Fox Marvel characters thrown into the void because Fox is no longer valid anymore. Disney bought Fox. Fourth wall breaking all around. I do enjoy the bringing back of that X-23 character. I do enjoy bringing back Wesley Snipes as Blade. You have Elektra played by Jennifer Garner. You have Channing Tatum as Gambit. And Gambit never got his movie. He was supposed to have a movie. He was supposed to be played by Channing Tatum, and he never got it. And here we have him talking about it in regards to he doesn't even know if he's from a universe. He feels like he was born in the void. You know, he never got his chance to be the hero. And Elektra and Blade were saying that the worlds just forgot about them, that they were just taken from their worlds. And that's a very massive symbolism in regards to what happened to all the franchises. Blade was taken away because of the lawsuit that Wesley had with the production company because he was an executive producer, but he didn't have all the executive rights that every other executive did in regards to casting, in regards to pacing, in regards to plot, stuff like that, in regards to salary. He wasn't paid his full amount. And then he was taken away from then the Blade TV series, which only lasted a season because everybody was so pissed off that they got rid of Wesley. Jennifer Garner's character of Elektra is a wonderful character. We see her in Daredevil and then Elektra, 2003 and 2005 film, and we just did a little marathon of that. But that franchise was then taken away completely because that second film, that electric film, was just absolute horrible. Who approved of that script? minute montage here, minute montage there of Jennifer working out and Jennifer exercising. It has no relevance to the plot. Disservice to the character. Gambit never got his potential. So it was amazing, and it brought some tears to my eyes because it felt like the actors were actually speaking from the heart. When they're going through that, the world just forgot about them. They're superhero characters. The world just forgot about them. When they're talking about the Void. And who is the bad guy in the Void? Well, Cassandra Xavier is the bad guy, who is Charles Xavier's sister in a different timeline. So, talking about these particular characters that we are familiar with, Chris Evans as Johnny Storm is back. Another thing. He got pruned, sent to the Void, got taken away from his timeline. So, seeing these familiar characters being brought back in a Avengers-style meetup to then fight against Cassandra's mutant villainies of Marvel characters in that Void setting, it was pretty awesome. It was very awesome. I didn't know how much of a Void film this would be. A lot of this film took place in the Void. Loved it. Then we go back into Deadpool's world. We're then trying to figure out how to, save the world, but then there's 100 different Deadpool variants, and that seems absolutely hysterical, having all the different things. My favorite was Cowboy Deadpool, specifically because Cowboy Deadpool is a San Diego Comic-Con Lego exclusive figure, which goes for thousands of dollars. There's a Deadpool duck, and there's a Cowboy Deadpool, and those Lego minifigures are worth a lot of money. A lot of money. I am well versed in the Lego community. They're worth a lot of money. Very hard to come by without selling an organ. So they're on one of the White Whale Holy Grail lists. My favorite character, specifically because of that, was Cowboy Deadpool. I really liked how well this was paced. I liked that there was 3 acts, first, second, third act. I liked the heartfelt moments that you had between Deadpool and Wolverine as well. This Wolverine didn't care and got plastered, and all of his mutant friends, all the X-Men were just obliterated in a means of bigotry. A lot of real world conversation in this as well about hatred and stuff of that nature. It was a true X-Men type of film in regards to being the outcast, in regards to being persecuted upon because you're quote unquote different. This was an amazing film. This was a rated R Marvel film plastered from Disney. So the question then is, how can Disney produce an R-rated film, which then grossed over $1 billion? So obviously they're going to be making more of that because money talks. I am very impressed with how fast the wrap-up was on this. I love how the timeline was fixed. I love how anchor being is a word that's used now in regards to if an anchor being of your universe dies, then your timeline goes away. Who's the anchor being of your universe? It's just a really cool conversation starter of a film. It's a really cool sequel of a film. It's a really cool culmination of different properties together for a film. I thought it was handled very well, how bringing in the Fox property Marvel characters into the Disney Marvel property universe, how does that integration work? So I have no qualms, I have no hesitations in regards to whenever the next Fantastic Four comes out from Disney, whenever the next X-Men comes out from Disney. I have no concerns because of how well done and well integrated this particular project was. I hope that they use the writers from this for those continuations as well, because this was a perfect way to incorporate everything together. Everything comes together. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Deadpool and Wolverine. I watched it with my parents too. Dad laughing his butt off the entire time. We sat down, the 3 of us, mom, dad, and me. We all had a Lego set to build. It was a wonderful night. It was a good memory. It was a good, wonderful night. Prepping for Valentine's building. I had some roses. My mom had some flowers, and Dad had some pirate playground ship set that he wanted to build because there was a crab in it. Adorable. Wonderful time with the folks. Wonderful film. On to the next review. Mahalo.